Connect the Dots. My name is Heather. I am your host. My pronouns are she and her. I am a white female. I have short strawberry blonde hair. I am wearing red glasses and light gray headphones. I have on a bluish gray shirt. And behind me, I have a wall that is covered in art, and it happens to be teal blue with a white line and dot pattern on it. Anyways, welcome to the podcast. It is, what day is it? It's Friday, January something, 20th, January 20th. It is now officially day 2 of my new job, which is to job hunt. So if you haven't listened the past 2 days, we'll get you up to speed. I was laid off from Amazon on Wednesday. Very shocking development in my life. But yeah, so I was laid off on Wednesday, and it kind of just, obviously gave me that kick in the butt to be like, hey, needed to start season 4 of the podcast. Let's do it. So here we are. Today's podcast, this is called 3 Questions. When I met with my mentor yesterday, she asked me 3 questions. She said she wanted to know what was the best thing that has happened since finding out that I got laid off. What was the most shocking thing to me? And then what's the worst thing? And when I answered, when we were together and I answered, I think I started with the worst thing. So I'll start there again. So the worst thing for me, I think, with the layoff situation, is just knowing that all of the programs that myself and in the talent team that I was on, the 4 of us, all of those programs are just paused, and not active anymore. And it's sad because, like, to me, that's the worst thing that can happen is, like, you've got programs that have been consistently running and growing and helping people, with their talent development, in so many different ways, in leadership development and, learning how to coach, learning how to give feedback, learning, like, all of these things that we were putting out there. All of that has stopped. And I like, that's the worst thing for me because, like, everything that I've done, at Amazon and, even prior to that, like in my role at Apple, like everything that I do, everything that I put out there that has to do with like a training or something like that, like it's to help people, like, build their skills, like to enhance their skill set, to deepen their knowledge. Like, it's to help them, like, move forward in their career. And the fact that now there is literally no talent development actively happening in that organization, that makes me extremely sad. Now I do know that there are some people, like, in particular, my boss, that are passionate about talent development, that, will, not let it stay gone forever. I know that it will come back. It may look different, it may feel different, and that's fine. But just, I know that there are people there that won't let it go away forever. That gives me a little hope. But I think right now, like, that's the worst thing about the layoff for me right now, is just knowing that there is not a team that is there actively working on things to help develop the talent in that organization. Makes me very sad. The second one I answered was, like, what shocked me the most. about the whole situation, like, you know, being laid off or whatever. I think it's just that it happened. That was my answer. Like, I was just shocked that it happened. It came out of absolute nowhere for me. Not that I'm trying to think of like how to explain this, right? Like when they were talking about layoffs and stuff in Q4, and kind of like going through that, you know, they were like, hey, it's going to happen in PXT, which is People Experience Technology, which is a group I fell under. Now there are like 80,000. I don't know if that's the accurate number there, but there's like 50,000 plus people that technically fall in PXT. And so I was like, okay, well, I feel pretty safe. Like, you know, the customer we support is a, you know, a very important group, and I feel like I'm good. Right. And I just tried not to dwell on it in Q4, because for me, if I was just going to dwell on it, like, I would get nothing done. And it just kind of like, you know, let it go. And then, you know, so come, you know, this month when, okay, hey, layoffs, you know, the information comes out that layoffs are going to happen on the 18th. Again, literally did not cross my mind. Like, I was like, okay. I had some friends that had previously been, their organizations had been like previously, like, I would say impacted, right? They had been given voluntary resignation offers, that kind of thing. And so I had reached out to them, and I was like, hey, I'm really thinking about you. Like, really, like, you know, hoping tomorrow, you know, praying for the best. And because I really definitely did not see it coming. So that was what shocked me the most, is just that it happened. Just in general, that it happened. And then the third question, which is actually the first question, but anyways, just follow along, is what's the best thing? All right, what's the best thing that has come out of the fact that I was laid off? And I think the best thing that has come out of this is, gosh, I don't want to cry today. Jeez, don't cry today, Heather. Don't cry today. I think for me, the best thing that's happened is just that, and I don't want to sound selfish when I say this, gosh, if y'all know me, y'all know I'm not a selfish person. But I think it's the best thing for me is that I've been able to, like, see, or not see, but like hear and feel the impact that I've had from the people that I worked with, from people that took my classes, from people that were in my programs, like them either, you know, saying something to me on LinkedIn, on my post, or sending an email and I have to reply to let them know, like, hey, I was laid off. And then them replying back to tell me, like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe it. And I think that's probably been the best thing that's happened, is like, it's given me this kind of like self-confidence boost, this reassurance that, like, hey, like, the work that you did was impactful and will continue to be, you know, for the future. I think that's, you know, that's probably the best thing, is just to get that kind of, get that feedback and know that. So, and it made me cry again. Oh, first time I've cried today, though. That's a good sign. But yeah. So like thinking about like, for any of you that maybe, again, you're going through, maybe maybe you've gone through this layoff with me. Maybe you were laid off on the 18th. Maybe you were laid off earlier, like or at the end of last year. Maybe you're part of the Microsoft group, the Google group, that got laid off today. I don't want to say welcome to the club, but welcome to the club. It sucks. That's sorry. But if you've been affected by the layoff in some way, but if you were the ones that you were laid off, like answer those 3 questions for yourself, right? What is the best thing that's happened? What's the best thing that's come out of the layoff so far? What's the thing that shocked you the most? And what's the worst thing that's happened because of the layoff? Like, answer those 3 questions. Now, I have something for those of you who maybe, as my friend describes it, which is a legitimate description, but for those of you that may have survived the layoffs, and maybe you have survivor guilt. I understand that. And it's not, if that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel, and that's a valid feeling. If you feel guilty when you got to stay and others had to leave, it's okay. Please know that those of us, well, I can't speak for all of us, but I can speak for myself. For those like that are maybe like me, I do not blame you. So if you feel like we do, like the people that got laid off blame you for being able to stay, we don't, or at least I don't. I don't blame you because it wasn't your decision. I don't know whose decision it was. People way above my pay grade made that decision, and here we are. So if you feel guilty because you got to stay while others had to leave, please know that it wasn't your fault. But if that's how you feel, then it's a valid feeling. And I don't want you to, I'm not brushing it under the rug, but I want to give you, from me to you, I don't blame you. And I know it wasn't your fault. But for those of you who are still there, maybe take a moment and ask yourself those 3 questions too. Right? What's the best thing that happened because of the layoffs? And maybe the best thing that happened is that you realize that, hey, this person wasn't just a coworker. They weren't just my friend at work. They're my actual friend. And we'll continue to be friends after. Maybe that's the best thing that's happened, because you've walked away with a real friend and not just a work acquaintance. Maybe the most shocking thing is what it was for me, right? Like that it happened. Maybe that's the most shocking thing for you, but think about it, right? If you're one of the ones that did not get laid off, and what was the most shocking thing? And then what's the worst thing that's happened? Name it. And then I'll give you one more. I'll give everybody, I'm going to give you one more question. I know the title of this was 3 questions, but I'm going to give you an extra bonus question for bonus points and cookies. For bonus points and cookies, everybody. The the additional question that I would like for you to ask yourself is, what's the thing, what is one thing that you learned from the experience that you will take into your next chapter? So for those of us who are laid off, right, that next chapter is, what are we going to take into that next job? Right. And so for those of you who are still there, what are you going to take into this next step? Like, so what are you going to, take moving forward? Like, what can you learn from this experience moving forward? Maybe it's the fact that, you know what, we need to make sure we got enough people as admins and proxies on different things. I think about that a lot. I'm like, oh gosh, how many things do people not have access to right now? Maybe it's that, hey, next time we do this project, let's make sure we write out things from beginning to end, and we have like that kind of go-to, because what if somebody leaves? Yeah, maybe that's, if you didn't get laid off, maybe that's one of the takeaways you have. Because I really do think about that. So, like, what in the heck's not working? And I'm sorry if it's not working. I didn't have a chance to fix it. Because I didn't know. Anyways, sorry. Humor is one of the things getting me through. So, all right, so we got our 3 questions, right? So what's the best thing that's happened? Sorry, I'm going to use this hand. What is the best thing that's happened? What is the most shocking thing that's happened? What is the worst thing that's happened? And then your bonus question for points and cookies is, what are you learning from it? What's one thing you've learned from it that you're taking into the next chapter? So that's going to do it for me today. I appreciate you so much for listening, so much for being here. Please, I always forget to say these things, so thanks for staying till the end. Please, I would love to interact with you. Please comment on LinkedIn. I'd love to have some more conversation around how you're feeling. Like, what are the answers to your questions? Like, tell me, like, give them, put them in there on LinkedIn. I have not put this stuff up on Instagram yet, but I'm working on it. I am putting it up on YouTube. So if you watch this on YouTube, you can go comment there. But wherever you're listening to this, like, subscribe, share, follow, all the things. I would really appreciate it. Because my whole reason for doing this, taking you along on my journey of working through the layoff is that I'm not alone, and I want you to know that you're not alone, that there is a whole community of us working through this right now, and I'm here for you. I want to be a place where you can come and listen and go, somebody else feels how I feel. Because this, for me, is the way that I process things. And if I can share that with you and help you process through the things you're feeling, then fantastic. I am not a licensed therapist. Please know this. I encourage you to find one if you need one. I met with mine this morning. It's a fantastic resource at this moment to have a licensed counselor in your corner. So, all right, let me wrap this up. Thank you so much for being here today. Please come over, connect with me on LinkedIn, connect with me on Instagram. All the links and things are like in the notes or whatever, in the show notes, the description, whatever you call that stuff. Thank you so much for being here. And so that you know, and so that you remember, you are loved and you are worthy, and there are great things ahead for you in this life if you trust and believe in the Lord. Thank you so much for being here today. We'll see you again very, very soon. Bye.